And we are live. Yo, how's everybody doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, I'm really loud. Test, test, test. All right, it's a little better. Test, test. Yeah, welcome in, everybody. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. We are doing a studio stream today. I don't do a ton of these lately, but I felt like I wanted to do one today, so I think there's some really cool stuff for us to go over and discuss today. Tony De La Rosa is in chat. Tony says, I'm working. If I can't be there with you live, I'll view this later. Tony. Appreciate you, Tony. Thank you very much. So, we're going to keep things pretty casual today. We're going to go over some, actually, we're going to go over some important and exciting things that I think are relevant to anybody interested in space and rockets, specifically SpaceX, Rocket Lab, all sorts of stuff. We'll talk about those things here in just a second. But the format of this will be very casual. Space Girl Falcon in chat. Space Girl Falcon says, hey man. Thank you for tuning in, Space Girl Falcon. Tony says I'll be here for a few minutes. Sounds good. Sounds good. First question and first matter of business is I have some background music going. Please let me know if the audio levels of the background music sound okay compared to my voice. Just want that in the background and not obstructive, but also when I'm not talking, it provides a little bit of ambiance. All right. I mean, let's just get right into it here. We're going to be doing some of this scene editing and stuff live. So what are we going to be talking about here today? One, let's talk about SpaceX Flight 6 and Flight 7. Talk a little bit about our stream that we had for Flight 6 and our expectations for Flight 7. We're going to be talking a bit about Rocket Lab, progress towards their next rocket, which is called Neutron, and their stock price. We'll talk a little bit about that. Number 3, we're going to talk about some fun personal updates. 4, we're going to be playing a Starship and Starbase related game, which I think y'all will really, really like. It's called Starship Factory. Starship Factory. I have not yet played much of Starship Factory. There's a couple of times that I've attempted to, and I had other things come up. We tried to do it on stream once, and I was having a technical issue with the machine that I was streaming from. But we're actually going to try that out today. I think you guys will enjoy that. Gabor is in chat. Welcome in. Welcome in. Now, I am streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, and X. And I do have the live chat up from all of the above. So if you're listening in from any of the other platforms, I will see your messages in chat this time. So that's great. Yeah, so I guess we can just get right into it. But like I said, this is a very casual format. If anybody has any discussion points they want to go over, any questions, please feel free to drop those in the chat. We'll keep things mostly space related, but doesn't have to be 100% space related. So I'm down to talk about whatever. But I was feeling really good and motivated today. We can talk a little bit about that type of stuff in my personal updates. I almost wonder if we should start. We'll start with this, and then we can get into that stuff. But yeah, welcome in. So let's recap some stuff here. So SpaceX, as we know, we witnessed their Flight 6 very recently, and we're hoping to see a Flight 7 potentially on January 11th, unless there's any delays or anything there. But let's just kind of go over what SpaceX has been doing. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about our stream. I was so freaking happy with the way our stream went on Flight 6. Now, our view count is definitely not breaking any records here on our Flight 6 stream. But that's okay. I don't think it is any secret that the channel has been a little bit slow lately as far as me producing content. So, as we all know with these online platforms, consistency is key. And consistency isn't something that would describe the Rocket Future channel over the last year and a half. So that being said, I was very happy with this stream. I think I had strong coverage. I think our interviews were great. Technically, things went 99% good. I'll describe like the one issue that we had. Launch was beautiful. Unfortunate that we didn't get a catch, but that's okay. But I really think that I think we really nailed the coverage. One thing I want to keep doing is increasing our visual quality here to the bitrate. I want to crank up if we can, so I'll do some additional testing on SpaceX. Tree, welcome in. How you doing, Tree? Ryan from Moondao is in chat as well. So, oh wait, no, he isn't. I was reading. I was starting to read the chat from Flight 6. But yeah, so the one technical glitch we had was audio. Let me see if I can give you an example. I think when we had a couple of interviews. Let's see here. I think we interviewed Ron after. Yeah, so let's listen in here for a second. Let me mute our music.
Indian Ocean, and really that's the most important thing at this point. I thought that the catch was settled business. Continue to watch.
If you listen carefully
and support this great channel,
you'll hear that the audio is kind of cutting in and cutting out.
Absolutely.
Really
so
quickly.
The next one, and yeah, I think you're right. They'll nail it eventually. You know, it was. I don't think it was a fluke that they did it on
You
the
can
first
hear it there.
attempt, but there's, you know, they still so much.
So what I figured that out that was it's like my body was physically blocking the receiver on my left when we're looking out at the screen here. On my left, the receiver, and obviously the microphone on the right, and my body was in direct line of sight for the microphone. So obviously that's an easy fix. We just put the microphone receiver in front of me. That way I am not blocking it when there is somebody to my right, my right, and the receiver's to the left. Other than that, launch was awesome. I think we were really impressed with how the Starship heat shield tiles held up, even the ones that were removed, how Starship held up. And it was great. So they didn't catch it. Why did they not catch it? So there's been some information. Sorry, rebalancing our audio levels here. There's been some information that came out from Elon, I think specifically, that said it was a communication issue between the rocket, stage 1 obviously, super heavy, and the tower. I don't know if we ever heard confirmation if that communication issue was related to the tower on the top of the launch tower getting kind of blown out of angle. I wonder if we can pull up a picture of that. But let me actually just go back a little bit here. Okay, so on the left-hand side of the screen here, you see the Starship launch tower. Let's go full screen. And you can see this little mast at the top. I don't think it's been publicly stated exactly what instruments are on there. I think a lot of people think there's some like weather instruments, that type of stuff. But it makes sense that there's communication instruments up there as well, communication technology. And during Flight 6, during the pad avoidance maneuver, or the tower avoidance maneuver, or whatever we want to call it, when Starship starts leaning, the force of the thrust kind of blew this tower over a little bit. It didn't fall completely over, but it was definitely at an angle. I'm sure it probably disconnected some cables and wires and all that good stuff. Was that related to the communication issue between the tower and Starship? We don't know, but it definitely could have been. But I think this is probably an issue that they will never have again. SpaceX learns and they make adjustments, and then they do better next time. Iterative development. It's a new failure mode, if we can call it that. A new failure mode we haven't seen yet, and I'm sure that they're going to resolve that. I think Elon said that it was probably going to be it probably would have been fine without this communication stream, but they wanted to be very sure, and obviously they want to keep things safe and happy at the pad. So the downsides of losing the booster are very minimal compared to the downsides of destroying the tower or pad. So while I missed Flight 5, unfortunately, and I did not see my first booster catch, so I was disappointed that we didn't get a booster catch on 6, but it's fine. It was a super successful mission otherwise, and I'll see one eventually. So that's all good. But I was very happy with the way our stream went. We were in a new location. So if you can see on the bottom right-hand side, which I am currently blocking, we had a new angle at the crowd. So we actually got a really cool crowd shot of everybody experiencing the launch. And hypothetically, if they did go for the catch, I'm sure there would have been a lot of cheers. I'm sure we would have seen a lot of physical emotion from this crowd here. So I really, really enjoyed our new spot that we watched from. So we will be doing that for the next launch as well. And we will be continuing to do launch live streams from Isla Blanca until I see a booster catch. And then after that, I am opening up my realm of possibilities for where I want to watch a launch from. That being said, when SpaceX announces that they're going to try for a Starship, Stage 2, Starship, catch, I will be at Isla Blanca for that. So hypothetically, Flight 7, they catch the booster, then I am open to more ideas of where to watch the launch from, unless they say the Starship's coming back, and then I want to watch that from Isla Blanca. If Flight 7 catches booster, and Flight 8, they say we are not going to try to catch the Starship, then I'm going to take up a couple offers that I've had for launch viewing, and I will continue doing streams. But we'll try somewhere new. We'll talk more about that as it comes, but I think at some point we are going to probably do a stream from Rocket Ranch, the outpost. Now I got to talk to Anthony again. Historically, he's sent that open invite to me, and he said that we could stream there. But I wanted to double check with him, make sure he's still cool with that. And I think it would be really, really awesome to do a launch stream from Rocket Ranch. And then our good friend Compulize, that we all know and love on X, him and Space Girl Falcon have invited me over their place to watch the launch. So that is another place that we will watch the launch from relatively soon. I don't know which launch yet, but that's going to happen. And finally, I have an awesome, awesome spot that I just kind of figured out within the last couple days that I want to do a launch stream from someday. So hypothetically, if we get more than 4 or 5, 3 or 4 launches next year, or we get 3 or 4 launches next year, I'm going to be at a few different locations and bringing you some really, really cool launch day coverage from all over. But the next booster catch and the first Starship catch, I will be doing those from Isla Blanca to make sure we get the full crowd reaction, and so I can experience the full crowd reaction of all those things, which is super awesome. Rugby Girl says, can't wait. Space Girl Falcon says something, but it is not populating on my chat correctly. I don't know why. It just shows up as blank. So yeah, Flight 6. Awesome. Great. Really enjoyed our stream coverage. Had a lot of fun. I think we nailed it. I really do think we nailed it. Audio fixes for next time. But we good. So let's talk a little bit about Flight 7. So SpaceX is quickly approaching readiness for Flight 7 in some ways. And then in some ways there's some gray area. So let's just kind of go through the timeline here and see. Let's go back to Flight 6. Got some great views of Flight 6 on the space station. So Flight 6 happened. And as of just a couple days ago, we have Flight 7 Super Heavy booster moved to the pad. So the next flight booster is at the pad and ready for testing. Not only that, but they haven't posted a picture of Cryo, or not Cryo, but Spin Prime. They did a Spin Prime test on Booster 7 yesterday morning. I believe that was Saturday morning. So there are some road closures coming up. Let's check those out. Boca Chica road closures. I believe tomorrow, let's see, today's the 8th. Yeah, tomorrow, the 9th, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., scheduled closure. So this isn't even a potential closure. It is scheduled. Could always get canceled. But right now, they plan to use the road closure for tomorrow. And I think what we're expecting is a booster static fire. So that might be tomorrow. And once the static fire is done, and as long as the data from the static fire looks good, everything looks successful, then we can consider Booster 7 ready for flight. And then we need some updates on the ship. Rugby Girl says it would be very cool if you came to Mahia LC1 is LC1 Launch Complex 1. I'm going to risk Googling this on... Oh! I would love that. Going to Rocket Lab... oh man, I would love that, Rugby Girl. You know what? I'm gonna promise that I will do that at some point, as long as it is in my control. As long as I still have the financial ability to do that. I don't know when. Maybe in the next couple of years. That's something that I can consider for sure. I haven't looked too much into where I can watch from to see that, but I would love to. I will promise that I will do everything in my ability to catch the first Neutron launch from Virginia here in the States. So that's something I'm really looking forward to, probably in 2025. Well, let's talk more about Rocket Lab in a few minutes here. We have just a couple other things to cover for SpaceX and Starship, and then we'll talk about Rocket Lab some more. So yeah, will I be doing a live stream of tomorrow's static fire? Right now, I'm making no promises, but I do plan to, if I can. There's two things that could get in the way. One is visibility. It's been foggy here the last few days. It's cleared up a little bit off and on.